What's up guys, it's Krista Sue. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I've got the cozy vibes this evening because I want to just have a little heart-to-heart with you guys. I like to hop on here every once in a while and talk about things that I think should be discussed a little bit more from my perspective and based on my experiences and stuff. No one asks me to do this. I just post them in hopes that maybe someone will watch it and relate to what I'm saying and feel comforted, or maybe I'll offer a different perspective to someone and they could learn from it and get a little bit of standpoint, I guess. And today I'm going to be talking about how I feel about my body. Now let's unpack that one, shall we? I was kind of inspired to talk about this because, you know, I go on social media and there's kind of been a switch where I'm kind of assaulted with a bunch of body positivity posts, and even body neutrality. It's kind of shifted towards that from people with a bunch of different types of bodies and shapes. And as much as I love that people are learning to love themselves and embrace themselves despite society's standards, it just kind of makes me feel bad in a different way than other media does, because I'm just not there yet, you know? My relationship with my body is so incredibly turbulent. It shifts from day to day even, and I just want to share with you guys how I feel about my body, why I've come to feel that way, and just the cycles I fall into, and what I'm doing to be better about how I treat myself based on how I feel like I look. Yeah, let's just get into it. I think about a year ago I posted a video about how I lost 50 pounds, and in that video I think it kind of gave the illusion that my relationship with food and the way I looked was a lot more healed than it actually was. And although my perspective was a lot better than it had been in the past, after kind of looking back on myself during that time, I know that the only reason I was feeling so positively about the way that I looked and how I was going about eating healthy and stuff like that was because I was pretty thin at the time. And I can tell because I've gained about 15 to 20 pounds since then, and the very frail structure and mindset I had created has just crumbled. And when you've actually healed yourself, that shouldn't happen so easily. I've been doing a lot of reflection, as one does during quarantine, because we are still in the middle of a pandemic and you should still be quarantining yourself. And I've really had the opportunity to figure out why my relationship with the way that I look is so turbulent and kind of what caused it. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about that. In that video where I talked about how I lost 50 pounds, I also touched on how I grew up being bullied for being unattractive and overweight. Obese, really. But yeah, people being mean to you throughout your entire life for the way that you look just obviously makes you feel bad. Shocker. Yeah, I was bullied pretty badly until I got into high school, and there was a very sudden shift in the way that people started treating me. Before high school started, I lost a little bit of weight and started coming into my appearance and shape a little bit more. I was just like a little bit cuter, you know? And I also had started at a new school. I was still not like everyone's cup of tea or anything, but I was getting a little bit more conventionally attractive. But when I tell you that there was a complete 180 in the way that people treated me, people were actually interested in getting to know me and weren't always mean to me. I was still overweight and people talk shit about that. That didn't stop until like college. But yeah, overall people were a lot nicer to me. Men were showing interest in me for the very first time because I was like thick or whatever. And the only conclusion I was really able to draw for the reason that people were being nicer to me was because I was a little bit thinner and a little bit prettier. And thus began me doing everything I possibly could to make myself look as good as possible at all times. I'm talking getting up at 5 a.m. every single morning to put on a full beat, do my hair, put on a cute outfit, the whole shebang. I really valued my beauty and appearance based on how I felt other people perceived me. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. I've gotten a little bit better about this over time, but I'm still not great. Probably until the age of like 20, the idea of leaving my house without like a full face of makeup on would send me into like a panic. Now I definitely prefer wearing makeup, but I'm starting to become a little bit more comfortable with how my face naturally looks. For the longest time I felt like I needed to like fill in my eyebrows and wear mascara just to be on an even playing field with other girls, because they are naturally blonde. But I'm starting to accept the way that I look without makeup and that there's something special and unique about it. So yeah, I'm getting more comfortable like with my face and general appearance, but my body, that's a little bit more complicated. I'm gonna be completely real with you guys. Oh, this is hard to talk about. I have spent so much time basing how I felt about my body on the expectations or perceived expectations of other people that I don't even know how I feel about my body on my own at this point. And that's like, whew, that's really hard to admit. As a thick or curvaceous woman, I've been hypersexualized since I was like 14. And because I grew up with such negative peer and male attention, I really ate it up when it started to become positive. I was still really young when it first started, so I was naive and didn't really understand that the attention I was getting was wrong and degrading. And that dynamic mixed with what's popularized by social media has really shaped how I've gone about weight loss and how I look at my body ever since high school. I always wanted to get skinnier so that I could become more traditionally beautiful and wear the clothes that I wanted to wear and look good in them. But I was also obsessed with maintaining my hourglass figure and keeping like my butt big and stuff to maintain male attention. I've constantly been on and off diets. I've screwed up my metabolism because of it. My weight has yo-yoed like crazy since I was a teenager because I'm constantly going on and off crash diets. I'll go through phases where like I really restrict myself and work out a lot, and then I'll notice either that like my butt is getting really small or I'm just really hungry, so I go through phases where I like will binge eat for a month. Don't even get me started on binge eating. I'll go through phases where I literally binge eat everything in sight to the point where I feel sick, and even past that. And then the next morning I'll feel so guilty and so awful about myself that I'll restrict what I'm eating really heavily, and then I'll just do it again and again. And what's crazy is that I've been feeling this way for so long, despite having a really loving family and support system and an amazing partner who is constantly working to remind me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. I don't want to come off any sort of way when I say this next part because I'm saying it for a reason, but I get complimented on my appearance a lot. I'll get told that I'm pretty or that people want a body like mine. And as much as I appreciate it so much, it makes me get so angry with myself. Like, I just think to myself, like, these people like the way that I look, like, why can't I just like the way that I look? I get told all the time that I seem so confident, and I just never really have the heart to tell people that it's all a facade, and I'm really just hoping that at one point I'll start to believe it. So yeah. That brings us to the present day. I hope that gave you a little bit of context as to why I think negatively about myself. I rarely tell people how I feel about myself and my physical appearance, but when I do, they don't really understand. And I think that my backstory makes a lot of sense as to why I feel the way I do. Why I'm telling you guys all of this instead of a therapist is because I feel like with the way that social media has shaped our lives, people are so caught up in sharing the highlights or like the finished product of their lives. It's so curated to show you that they made it, you know, that they're better. I just want to show you guys that not everyone has it figured out yet. Even the people that make it seem like they do, they don't. And I want to bring you guys along the journey of me trying to figure it all out, and heal myself from the inside out. So now I'm going to talk to you guys about what I'm doing to heal my body image and feel better about myself. I've kind of started out by trying to define what beauty is to me outside of society's standards, which is really hard to do when you think about it, because stuff is so ingrained in our brains from consuming media for so long. But I think what beauty really comes down to is just taking care of your mind and your body in the best way that you possibly can. I think being healthy is really beautiful, because the best thing you can do for yourself is take care of yourself so that you can live a long, fulfilling life. I think taking care of yourself includes doing things that you're passionate about and that make you happy, moving your body and getting your heartbeat up regularly without absolutely breaking your body apart, resting after you've worked and not feeling bad about it, practicing mindfulness and just being still with yourself, eating balanced meals without restricting yourself or overindulging, and when you overindulge, not feeling bad about it. So yeah, that's what I'm starting to do. It's gonna be a long road, but I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride with me, and I hope you guys enjoy it or appreciate it, because it's pretty difficult to come online and talk about your insecurities and your shortcomings. I feel like I could just ramble on and on, so I'm gonna end the video here, but I hope you liked this video and got something out of it. Sadly, I think a lot of people will relate to the concepts and stuff I talked about in this video and the things that I've struggled with. That just seems to be the way the cookie crumbles nowadays, unfortunately. But I'm going to try and document my journey building a better and healthier me, the ups and downs and everything in between, because like I said before, we've grown so accustomed to just showing the good parts of our lives, and I want that to change, because we all have a lot more in common than we think we do, especially with our shortcomings and stuff like that. And I want my channel to be a place where you don't feel like you have to aspire to be any sort of thing. You can just work on being your best self, and that's all that matters. Yeah, I hope you liked this video and you're looking forward to things to come. If you did like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to me if you want to. If not, I get it. I'll see you next time, guys.